Hey people, you're back with Bunky. Okay, we've got the biggest class out of the way now. That was quite an ordeal. Let's move on to the engineers. Now with the human, if you want to give this guy a reason to be picked up and played, you've got to play with combat drone. Because literally, the vast majority of the engineers can juggle fire and electricity for you. What's unique about this guy is this pet power. Now I know these pets have been kind of killed over the months through all the balance changes, because most of the enemies really don't give a damn about them. They completely blank them. I think it's only the Geth and phantoms that really give them any attention. So they don't really take any aggro or draw the enemy fire like they advertise. But to be honest guys, the combat drone doesn't care. Okay, if you spec it for detonate, shock and chain lightning, this thing is still going to go out there. Okay, it's going to chase down the enemy and it's going to stun them and stagger them with its own little mini overload. This is great. Okay, it's going to take away the enemy fire in that respect. Okay, whether they like it or not, and if it does capture their attention and they turn to take it out, it's going to blow up in their face. Okay, that's going to detonate your other two powers. Right, for Incinerate, I only put the 3 ranks into it. That's all you're going to need, okay? You can just use Incinerate to reload, cancel your weapon, and help you whittle down armor, okay? Because his 2 powers, or his 3 powers, none of them are really particularly hard-hitting. They've just got a lot of great utility. So, Incinerate's going to be what you use to help you burn away armor. But for the main part, your main bread and butter is going to be Overload, okay? If you spec Overload for Chain Overload, okay? So this basically means when you hit a target with it, the zap is going to jump on over to any nearby enemy, okay, and then you're going to zap him as well. This gives you some nice bit of crowd control, okay. Then you want Neuroshock. You always want Neuroshock because Overload only does 50% damage to organic targets. Okay, it does full damage to any synthetic enemy, like Atlases and Geth and such, okay? But you're only going to be doing half damage to everything else unless you take Neuroshock. It's something they don't tell you about, but it is a fact, okay, in the game. You want Neuroshock for that reason, okay? So you can do full damage to every enemy in the game. And then finally, you want shield damage for obvious reasons, okay? It's going to increase the damage it does to barriers and shields by 100%, okay? So you're doing twice damage and you will just rip off those shields. So that's what you've got with Overload, okay? You've got a crowd control move that's just ripping away all the shields and stuff, so you can gun the enemy down. That's what you want to be doing, just overloading and shooting, okay? When you've got a big group of enemy, you throw out the combat drone first, and then he's going to overload with you, okay? So you've got some great crowd control. You're not going to get a lot of return fire from that, okay? And when the big bosses rear their ugly heads, okay, then you can start whittling them down with Incinerate. Now for Alliance training, because as I mentioned, your powers don't hit particularly hard, we're going to help them out here with damaging capacity and power damage, but then of course you want the weapon damage, because it's your weapon that's going to do the main chunk of the killing in your gameplay with this character, okay? And then you can take all the fitness you can get your hands on, okay, guys? Go with durability and shield recharge. Don't panic, okay, guys? I know you've only got 700 health and shields there, but the Overload and Combat Drone combo really does a great job of cutting down the return fire this character receives. Now, as I said, your weapon's going to do the main chunk of your killing, though, so put on something powerful and go with the Cerberus Harrier, okay? The mods I always recommend for this is going to be the magazine upgrade and the extended barrel, okay? Because the one drawback, the only drawback of the Cerberus Harrier is its small clip size, okay? And even then it's quite manageable, but with the magazine upgrade, you're not going to have much issues at all, okay? You're going to do fine out there with that. And obviously the extended barrel is just going to increase its already awesome damage. Now for your equipment, go with the armor-piercing rounds, okay, so you're doing some really nice weapon damage there, and obviously that's going to aid you in taking down those big boss targets with Incinerate. For your armor bonus, okay, go with the Cyclonic Modulator. Yes, like I said, you do have a lot of crowd control with this guy, but if he does take a hit, okay, he really can't take it, so, you could get all the aid you can there. For the gear bonus, I do recommend something like the Omni Capacitors, okay, because like I said, you can't take a hit, so you really want your crowd control abilities out there working as efficiently as possible, okay? That's going to increase your recharge speed and increase their damage at the same time. And then finally, obviously, you want an Assault Rifle Rail Amp for this guy. Alright then, moving on to the aliens. Now we're going to the Quarian Female Engineer. This is actually my favourite engineer. I don't really know why, a bit rough around the edges. I think I just like the arse on her. Now, Sentry Turret, I've said it before, and I'll tell you again, okay, guys, I really don't like this power. I really wouldn't recommend wasting your points on it, okay? I mean, it's not that it doesn't do much damage, okay? None of the pets do a lot of damage, okay? It's the fact that it just doesn't, it's so infrequent with its attacks, okay? Because like I said just before the combat room, okay, the pets are just ignored by so many enemies that you, if they're really going to take away any sort of fire from you, they need to be on the attack, okay? They need to be hitting the enemy quite frequently, and the sentry turret really doesn't, okay? It takes its sweet time to actually hit the enemy with anything. And what's also annoying is its attacks are so inconsistent, okay? If you spec it full and go for that flamethrower evolution, okay, guys, sometimes that thing just plain doesn't set up fire explosions like it should, okay? You'll see the enemy panic, there's flames on their back and stuff. You'll hit it with incinerate and there's still no fire explosion. So I really just, it's so inconsistent and infrequent that I just can't recommend wasting any points on it, okay? If you want crowd control, I'll show you can get crowd control. It's through cryoblast and incinerate, okay? If you spec cryoblast for radius, cryo explosion, and frozen vulnerability, okay, those last two evolutions are really going to debuff the targets, and you should be hitting every target with this cryoblast, okay? That should be your initial strike, okay? And the radius is going to allow you to hit multiple of them. So that's your first line of crowd control there, okay? You're staggering multiple enemies, freezing any unprotected enemies on the spot, okay? They're solid, there's no return fire from then, okay? And you're slowing down any of those that do have protection, okay? And then your next follow-up attack is going to be incinerate, okay? If you expect incinerate for damage, burning damage, and I like to go with the freeze combo, okay? This is going to allow you to do double damage with incinerate to every target that's frozen or chilled, and that will be every target that you're up against, okay? Because I can't stress enough, there's no reason not to hit them with cryoblast first, because that's going to allow them to take a lot more damage. You can go with armor damage as well. That's going to help you take down the bosses faster, but you know, with freeze combo you'll just take down everything a little bit faster, okay? Now, see, what you also want to go with is a nice elemental ammo on your gun, okay? Because then Incinerate's not just going to hit hard, it's also going to set off a tech explosion, okay, guys? So that's, you know, this is your crowd control right there, okay, guys? You've got the cryoblast, it's staggering, it's freezing, it's slowing down, okay? Then you've got, then you're shooting them with your elemental ammo. Your elemental always adds a certain effect, okay? And then Incinerate comes in, that staggers them again, but then it sets off an explosion which blows them back. And you've got to remember, this explosion is going to be even stronger now because you've debuffed them with cryoblast. And then the final line of crowd control is there with the what is it called again? Sorry, the cryo explosion. With that evolution, the enemy who are frozen when they die actually break off into these little shards and stuff. And if any nearby enemies touch those shards, okay, they actually get chilled or frozen themselves, okay? So then you're just, you know, you're spreading the slowdown and the freezing, okay? That's your crowd control with this character. That's going to do a lot better than Sentry Turret is, okay? Now again, her powers don't hit particularly hard, okay? So if you want to do some nice damage, you then go with damaging capacity and power damage, and then take some weapon damage, okay? Because this combination is really what the damage is going to be doing. Which where the damage is going to get done, sorry, and then take all the fitness you can, okay, guys? Durability, shield recharge, and fitness expert. Again, a lot of the engineers are really squishy, guys, so it's about getting all this crowd control. That's how they survive out there, and how they do well out there. Now, the weapon I do recommend on her is the Talon pistol, because with the Talon pistol you can put the heavy barrel on there and do some really nice damage, but you can also slap on a power magnifier, which is going to increase her power's damage again. Excuse me a moment. But most importantly, it's got a 150% damage multiplier to shields and barriers, okay? Because oddly enough, she's one of those few engineers out there that has got no real line of attack against shields, okay? Despite years of battling the Geth, these females haven't worked it out, okay? So you really want all the help you can taking down those shields, and the Talon's going to help you in that respect. For her equipment, any elemental ammo will do, because then you can get that tech explosion for further crowd control. But ultimately, I do recommend the disruptor rounds, okay? Because the disruptor rounds have obviously that in combination with the Talon's multiplier is really going to strip shields super quick for you. But that's also going to set up tech bursts, okay? And tech bursts are going to wreck shields for enemies as well. And then you can use your cryoblast and incinerate to destroy armor, okay? That's a really nice combo against it. Your armor bonus again, squishy. If you do take a hit, it's going to hurt. Put a cyclonic modulator on her. For your gear bonus, you can go ahead with the engineering kit to get her tech power damage up, and then of course you want a pistol rail lamp for her. Right, moving on. Okay, the Salarian Engineer. Now, if you want to talk about useless pets, let's talk about Decoy, okay? But again, it's like with the human engineer, okay? If you ignore Decoy, you've really got no reason to pick up and play this character. Unfortunately, the problem with Decoy is that it's a stationary pet, okay? So it isn't on the attack. It's only going to attack an enemy that actually comes right up near it. And as I've mentioned before, the enemy don't give a damn about your pets. What's actually good about Decoy is the fact that it's the same size as you, okay? It's a holographic projection of your character, so it's massive for that reason. So if you've got something flying at you, a nasty enemy projectile like a Bwnci warple or an Atlas missile, you can put the Decoy out and it's going to swallow up that damage for you and protect you. This is going to allow, that's your first line of defense, to allow you to just really get stuck in with this character, okay? Because again, he's a character whose powers don't hit particularly hard, but they've got a lot of great utility. So we're going to look at energy drain. This is going to be your main bread and butter, because really don't bother with any of the evolutions of Decoy. Just go into the first 3 ranks of this bad boy, because the evolutions are dead to you. They really are. Energy drain's where it's at, guys. Okay, you can spec this for radius, drain, and then go with armor boost. Okay, radius is going to allow you to hit multiple targets at a time, so you're staggering them all that kind of good stuff. Drain is going to, the shields that you take off them with energy drain are going to become your own then. Okay, so it's going to keep your shields up, allow you to survive getting stuck in with this character. And then finally armor boost. Okay, if you actually are stripping shields or hitting any kind of synthetic enemy, you're going to get a 40% damage reduction for 10 seconds. This is actually going to make you surprisingly tough, okay? You can really get stuck in with this character thanks to Decoy and energy drain. You've got incinerate then, okay? You can throw that into the mix when you're dealing with armor. Just go with damage, burning damage, and armor damage, okay? But for everything else, there's energy drain. Now, for this, guys, if it hasn't been made clear now, guys, you want a weapon focus, okay? Because you can really get stuck in with this character. Go with weapon damage. Take the power damage for your next evolution, because you are using a lot of powers. And then finally more weapon damage, okay? And then get all the fitness you can. Again, durability and shield recharge, okay? Of course, you can survive well with this character because, like I said, Decoy and energy drain are a really great combination for allowing you to get stuck in. And what better to get stuck in with than a claymore, okay, guys, or any kind of good shotgun, but the claymore's my favourite, okay? Put the smart choke and high velocity barrel on this bad boy. Just getting close to the enemy, take their shields, get stronger yourself, block any projectiles flying at you with Decoy, and then blast them away with the claymore, okay? You can do some really nice weapon focused character. For his equipment, again, he's doing most of his kills are going to come from weapons, so get some nice armor piercing rounds on him, so you can do a lot of damage. His armor bonus, okay, you've got some great survivability, but it's going to be nothing if you can't even take one hit, so get a cyclonic modulator on him as well. Go with the omni-capacitors again for his gear bonus, okay, because the claymore's heavy, alright, it is heavy, so you want the recharge speed and the tech power damage, and of course then you want a shotgun rail amp for him, and that's the Salarian Engineer for you. Okay, another engineer, another pet. We're going to look at the Geth Engineer now. Okay, now this guy is beastly. He is absolutely beastly. All the Geth are, okay, the Geth are amazing damage outputters. Essentially, you can play this guy like a Turian Ghost if you wanted to, and if that's something that interests you, go ahead and check out the video guide for that build, okay, I do talk about it. But this is the way I play it. It embodies the true nature of the Geth, and it stun locks fucking everything, okay? Because you've got Overload, essentially. The first one, Overload's an amazing utility power. Just spec it the same, okay, guys, go with Chain Overload, Neuroshock, and Shield damage, okay, and that's just going to lock up groups of enemies for you to gun down then, and you're going to be able to gun them down quite efficiently with Hunter mode, okay? Hunter mode, I'm going to recommend another projectile weapon, okay, guys, because then you can basically, because all projectiles generally tend to stagger all trooper-sized enemies with every shot, okay, so you really can just lock them up with the projectile weapon and Overload, so you don't really need the weapon accuracy for a gun like that. If you just go with the power recharge, and you can get Overload out as fast as possible. For the next one, okay, again, stick with the rate of fire, okay? I know the power damage is tempting because we're rocking Overload and everything, but the rate of fire is going to allow you to just get everything, you'll get your attacks out as quickly as possible. So you can get Overload out fast, you can get your gunshots out fast, the enemy can't move, they can't fight back. For the extra damage, guys, go with damage for the final evolution. Now, as you've noticed, now we've sunk a lot of points into our powers now, and that's the problem with the Geth Engineer, and yeah, it is a problem. all of his powers are fantastic, so that's what you want to put all his points into it, but that's going to leave you insanely squishy. Fortunately, the third awesome power is the Geth turret. Now, this is the best pet in the game, okay? This thing's got amazing utility. It attacks the fastest, it attacks the hardest, and it restores shields and reliably sets up fire explosions. But you're going to need some fitness, okay, guys, if you want to be able to take more than one hit, okay? But if you just take the shield restore and restore range on this thing, it's going to be your stim pack for this guy, okay? You fire the Geth turret into a nice bit of soft cover that you can work from to take on a group of enemies, okay, guys? And then you just stay there, you wreck up the group, and then you move on, and you put the Geth turret to your next bit of soft cover, and you work that corner then, guys. The Geth turret's just going to stick out there, it's going to keep your shields up, okay, whenever they go down, and keep you alive, okay? And it's also going to fire off a couple of nice rounds for you, and keep staggering the enemy for you. Finally, your networked AI, okay, guys? This is, like I said, you're really working your weapons and your powers here to just lock the enemy up. So it's got a weapon focus and a power focus. So go with weapon damage again, power damage, weapon damage. That's only going to leave you 3 points to put into, well, 3 ranks to put into your fitness, okay? But the Geth turret is going to help you guys if you just play smart, work some nice soft cover all of the time, and keep your Geth turret nice and close to you. It's going to take care of you, okay? The Geth turret loves you. It's a very loving pet. Now, the weapons for this guy, like I was saying, get a nice projectile weapon on so you can really lock up the enemies and go with the falcon. The falcon can't pierce because it's a projectile, okay, guys? So just get yourself a magazine upgrade and an extended barrel for, so you can stand out. You can stick to your soft cover for as long as need be, and you're doing some nice damage with it, okay? And thanks to Hunter mode, those little grenades are going to fly out nice and quick, okay? But unfortunately, it's projectiles like this, okay, with explosive rounds, they're going to be best at working groups of enemies. So it's like an area of effect on them. So they're going to be kind of crap when it comes to just sort of focusing on one enemy, which is going to slow you down on the bosses. You're going to want a second weapon. I recommend something light but efficient. Okay, go with the Hurricane. Hurricane with the heat sink and the high velocity. That's going to make short work of armored targets. Okay, especially when you've got Hunter mode going on there, just streaming out those bullets. Now, the equipment on him, to increase the amount of stun lock that we're doing, we're going to throw in some tech explosions to the mix. Get yourself some incendiary rounds, okay? So that basically you hit them with the falcon, you stagger them, you set them on fire, and then you hit them with overload, you stagger them again, you blow them up, okay? And then you stagger them again from that, okay? And you just rinse and repeat that cycle. The enemy will not be able to retaliate. So in between not being able to fight back, getting wrecked, and your Geth turret constantly giving you shields, you're going to be just fine out there. You're going to be very efficient. Get yourself incendiary rounds on for your armor bonus. Okay, again, engineers are super squishy. If they do take a hit, they go down, so make sure you've got a cyclonic modulator to rectify that issue. For him, I do recommend the omni-capacitors again. We are rocking 2 weapons, so it can get a bit weighty there. You want to get those powers out as fast as you can, and obviously you want them hitting harder. And then finally, the Falcon's the main piece on him, okay? You whip out the Hurricane to deal with the bosses, so go with the Assault Rifle Rail Amp on him. Okay, then that's the Geth Engineer. Okay, the Quarian Male Engineer. Now, this guy is a wrecking ball of an engineer. Okay, guys, this is all the other characters I told you about, where they got great utility but not a lot of damage in their powers. This guy's the complete fucking opposite. He's got a ton of damage in his powers, and it's mainly because of arc grenades. Okay, guys, these things do wreck up the place. Now, the build for this guy, okay, just put 3 ranks into tactical scan. You can slap that on top of a boss target, then and basically weaken him for the barrage that follows. Your barrage should be this, okay, guys, you start off with your arc grenades, okay, spec these guys for damage. You don't need the radius, look at it, it's 8 meters, you don't need more than that. Go for the damage. You want electrical damage. This has a nice damage over time effect, but it also sets up tech explosions, okay, tech bursts, sorry. So, you know that you want that, because you getting those explosions into the mix means more damage, guys. And then go with the shield overload at the end, then, because that's the shield's history, okay? This thing is a beast at just hitting multiple targets, doing a lot of damage to them, and completely stripping them of their shields, okay? Then you can follow up with Incinerate. A little different, go with Radius for the first evolution on this, because, like I said, Arc Grenades hits a ton of enemies, because it's got an 8-meter radius on it, so it's nice to try and get your Incinerate to keep up with it. Then go with the burning damage and go with the armor damage, okay? So now you've got something for everything the game throws at you. You're ripping off the shields, you're whittling down the armor, and health hasn't got a chance. It really doesn't, because with that combination, you go arc grenade, you go incinerate, you got yourself a tech burst, okay, and then you can throw another arc grenade, and you got yourself a fire explosions, and you can just string tech combos like that, okay, guys, and just completely destroy the enemy. All right, especially if for requiring defend, if you just go with the damage and capacity and the power damage, okay, that is them done history. You might as well just treat yourself to all the fitness then, okay, guys, durability, shield recharge, and fitness expert, and you've actually got yourself a decent 1050 shields, okay, guys. He's nearly not going to get a lot of return fire because he's got such a massive area of effect in his attacks, okay, guys, and if he does, he's going to be fine, okay, he's really going to take it, the little return fire that he gets. But might as well just seal the deal, okay, guys. You're doing so much damage with your poison at this point, you might as well just finish them off with a powerful weapon. Stick the cerberus harrier on him again, okay, guys. Got the magazine upgrade and the extended barrel, and just wreck up anything that dares survive your barrage of powers, okay. Because literally, there's going to be so little left. You might as well just get the job done. There's no pointless putting on a show. Those enemies are dead. This guy is a wrecking ball. For his ammo bonus, sorry, I do recommend an elemental ammo. I go with the disruptor, okay, guys? Because if I do run out my arc grenades, I can literally just gun them for a bit and follow that with incinerate, okay, guys? I'm still going to get the tech explosions on, the tech bursts on the go. You can put cryo rounds on as well, guys, and actually have all the tech explosions in the mix, okay? That's something fun you can do. But they're the least efficient at priming, okay? You really need to freeze an enemy completely solid to get a cryo explosion primed with cryo rounds. For his armor bonus, okay, like I said, he's got decent shields and he does not get a lot of return fire, so you might as well just make sure the enemy don't return fire at all. Go with a power amplifier and completely wreck them up. The gear bonus, okay, the arc grenades, as I mentioned, is a major part of your attack pattern, so get the grenade capacity on, so you've got plenty of them on the go. 5 more arc grenades for you there, and for your weapon bonus, obviously just stick on an assault rifle rail lamp and you are golden. Alright then, who's next? Okay, the N7 Demolisher. Now, no, you don't need to camp up with this. I know she's really easy to camp up with, but that's boring, okay, guys? There's a lot of beautiful maps and locations to go out there and explore, and it's just, you're missing so much of the game if you're only seeing one portion of a map, okay? Waiting for the enemy to slowly come to you. Like I said, you've got people like the Quarian Engineer there, okay, who's just going to be running out and wrecking up the place. You need to follow him, and follow trait, okay, guys, because this character can do a lot of damage as well, okay? First of all, if you've got your supply pylon, okay, this is a very important part of the character and why a lot of people think you've got to stay put just so you can make use of it. No, bring it along with you, okay? It's like a Geth turret. Find yourself a nice bit of soft cover, slap that thing down, make that your campsite for a moment, wreck up the room, and then pick it up and move on, okay? Not literally pick it up, you just slap it somewhere else and the last one blows up, okay, guys? That does do damage, but you're probably not going to utilize it. For the supply pylon, spec it for resupply frequency, okay? So this is going to make it spit out more ammo and grenades more often, and you do need those grenades. That's all she has for her attacks is grenades, okay? So make sure they come out as frequently as possible. Go with the power damage, okay? When you're standing in the supply pylon, that means the grenades that you chuck in are going to be more powerful, okay, guys? She's got a lot of power damage bonuses. They're going to do a lot of damage, okay? And like I said, this is something you want to be parking wherever you go, okay? So you are standing in your supply pylon and benefiting from that power damage. Don't just leave it in one spot on the map, okay, guys? Bring it with you. It's really great utility. And then lastly, you want extra grenades, okay? So it spits out 2 grenades at a time, because like you just said earlier, you need grenades, okay? It's everything about her. Now for the arc grenades, I just spec for the damage and the electrical damage on it so I can get the tech burst set up. Yes, she's only got 6 meters on her radius, but again, that's still a lot, okay? 6 meters is big. It's all you're going to need to wreck up a room. Ideally, you could go for the shield overload evolution, but if you want to be able to take more than one hit, if you come in contact with Ravager Goo or a Bwnci Warpball, and you're going to have to eat up one of your health items unless you got some points in your fitness. So lose that last rank, because the arc grenades will strip shields quite efficiently without it, trust me, and put those 6 points into your fitness, so you can go 3 ranks in, okay? Because then at least if you touch Ravager Goo or something, you can just go into hard cover for a bit, or just stay in your supply pylon and wait. Because that's another thing I didn't mention. The supply pylon increases your shields, okay? Or at least adds some damage reduction to them. I'm not entirely sure it does now. I forget off the top of my head. But yeah, it adds to your shields. So basically, you're going to avoid damage that way, and you'll be able to sort of survive a little bit of goo touching your shoe there. Then you got your homing grenades, okay? Your homing grenades, spec them for damage fire damage, and armor damage. Okay, unfortunately, the fire damage doesn't work like it was supposed to. Okay, these things don't set up fire explosions, so unfortunately, you can only really detonate with your homing grenades. But that's going to be fine, okay, because the homing grenades are going to be good at that, and the armor damage bonus is actually going to weaken armor's mitigation to weapon damage. Okay, that's going to really come into play in a moment. I'll explain that when I get into the weapons, but that's essentially it. You won't be able to string combos like you can with a male Quarian Engineer, but you can still get those. You can still get explosions coming out with a lot of damage. Okay, just hit them with the arc grenade, hit them with a homing grenade, tech burst. Okay, and you know those two hits do a lot of damage on this character. Okay, because look, for her passives, if you go with damage and max grenades, you got yourself an extra grenade and more power damage. Then you can go with power damage, and then you can go with power damage again. Okay, look at that, a 65% bonus on your power damage. She does a lot of damage with those grenades. Okay, now let's look at the weapons. Okay, again, she really can't take a hit because we're not putting any points into her fitness because her powers are too important for to be frank. So you know, you got a lot of crowd control because there's a lot of radius in your grenade abilities, and you're obviously setting off that power combo as well. But just to put the icing on the cake, go something like the Scorpion. Okay, guys, put the heavy barrel on it; it won't pierce, and obviously then you can slap on a power magnifier too for even more power bonuses. Okay, and basically what the Scorpion's going to do, it's going to stagger the enemy on contact, and then it's going to stagger the enemy again when it explodes. Okay, so that's going to lock up the enemy again for you, and you can also just dot it around groups of enemies' feet. Okay, and it'll work like a proximity mine. So if they try to escape your barrage, okay, they'll walk onto a Scorpion round and it'll explode in their face. And this is a good way to lock up the enemy and minimize return fire. And you just do this from a nice bit of soft cover with your supply pylon. When it comes to the bosses, then you whip out your piranha. Okay, this is why the armor damage evolution on your homing grenades are going to be great. For your piranha, stick on the smart choke and high velocity barrel. It's the best mods for most of the shotguns. It really is. But with the homing grenades, they travel, and they travel rather slow. And you really want to sort of minimise the chance of them fucking up their path to the enemy by not doing it so far away, okay? Because the enemy will move. Then naturally they're going to move, okay? They're going to be coming at you as well. So you can really... because the slow travel speed of the homing grenade, there's quite a good chance that they're going to fly into a wall instead of the enemy because they've moved, sort of spiraling around the same points here. So basically what you want to do is get in really close to your homing grenade so that they just really just smash the enemy in the face. And then when you're in that range, then you're going to be getting the shotgun damage bonus, okay? And that's how you're going to wreck up the bosses. Still use the same cycle, okay, guys? Just run into the bosses. There's your piranha. Hit them with the arc grenade. Hit them with the homing grenade. Get all that stagger going on, but then you're also wrecking them with some really nice piranha damage there, okay? Or shotgun damage to be exact. Now, for her equipment, I do recommend an elemental ammo so you can get another explosion on the go. Okay, guys, really minimise the return fire because you can't afford to take any. I do actually like to go with disruptor rounds for that reason. Okay, get another tech burst, but also it stuns enemies. Okay, so that's how we're going to minimise return fire. For the armor bonus, okay, guys, she's so squishy at this point. It is actually a waste of your time going with the cyclonic modulator. Go with the power amplifier and kill before you're killed. Okay, guys, just be the wrecking ball. For a gear bonus, like I said, everything's about grenades, guys, so you really want to slap on a grenade capacity on her. And then finally, the Scorpion's going to be your mainstay. Okay, so go for a pistol rail lamp. Right, we're on retaliation now. Okay, the Volus Engineer. I do really like this guy as a character in general, not just a Volus. Okay, I generally think he's a really great character. For him, he's going to be about setting off a lot of bombs, okay, and doing a lot of debuffing, okay. You got the recon mine first and foremost. Let's just jump in, okay. If you select recon mine for radius, okay, and that's massive, then you've got a 12-meter scan radius and a 9-meter explosion radius, okay. So you're really going to detect a bunch of enemies, and then you're going to debuff a load of them, okay, because that's what it does. As soon as the enemies in the scan radius, they're debuffed and they're slower. It's great for that. And then obviously you can, and then you can detonate it, okay, before they even get close, okay, and do some really nice damage. If you go for the damage evolution, of course, at rank 5. I was getting ahead of myself. Go with damage for the next evolution, and when you explode, when you detonate your recon mine, you are going to be wrecking up those enemies from a nice distance. And then finally, if you go with the invasive scan, okay, see, I was way ahead of myself. Okay, invasive scan. This is going to really slow down the enemies and make them take more damage. Okay, so you've got a huge scan. You're debuffing enemies from 12 meters away, slowing them down from 12 meters away, and then from 9 meters away, you can blow them up too. Okay, guys. Now, you can pile on the debuffing, okay, with the proxy mine, okay? You can hit all enemies with the proxy mine after you've hit them with the recon mine, okay? Go with the radius, damage taken, and the recharge speed, so you can just do this really efficiently. And essentially, your attack pattern is this, okay, guys? You find yourself a group of enemies, you throw out the recon mine, okay? That's going to start doing its thing. It's going to open up, it's going to scan the area. Any enemies that come at you, then you're going to shoot them with a nice elemental ammo, get them all primed and ready for an explosion, hit them with the proximity mine, debuff them, stagger them, they're going to explode, okay, that's going to do a lot of damage because they're debuffed, okay, and they're going to be staggered again from the explosion, and then if they survive that, okay, guys, you can finish them off by detonating the recon mine, okay, and you can really take out large groups of enemies with that combination, okay, because the enemy are really weak at that point because they've been debuffed twice, and obviously you hit them with 2 explosions and a tech explosion, okay, so you can do a lot of damage with this little guy. Now all your Voluses want shield boost, okay, guys, this is for you, it keeps you alive, okay, go with shields, regeneration and protection, okay, guys, this is going to allow you to not be so reliant on it, okay, guys, the whole trick to surviving with the Volus is to not be seen just by pressing the melee button, your light melee button, you cloak, excuse me again a moment, you cloak, so the enemy don't see you, so you can basically do all this attacking from the thing, because it's not like tactical cloak, you don't come out of your cloak by attacking, okay, it just has its little duration, and essentially you just attack from the shadows, okay, guys, and if you ever do take a bit of damage, you slip away from the enemy's line of sight, you cloak again so that they lose you, and then you can shield boost, okay, and you're healthy and you're good to keep going. Now, as you might have realised, okay, all of his damage is coming from powers, so go with the damage and capacity and power damage for his passives, and then take 3 points in his fitness so that you don't get killed by being sneezed on. So, you've got a chance to slip away and shield boost if you ever do take a hit. For his weapon bonus, I do recommend the Talon again, okay, because the Talon's going to be great for stripping the shields, as I've mentioned before, so you're going to get your elemental ammo working nice and quickly. You can go with the heavy barrel as well, so it does a lot of good damage. The Talon is a heavy hit, okay, it's a good damaging pistol, and obviously you can slap on a power magnifier again, so that all your powers are doing some really nice damage. And then, of course, you've got the equipment, okay, guys? This is the important part. Get the incendiary rounds on, okay? So you're setting up and detonating those fire explosions, okay, for some really great damage. For your armor bonus, okay, don't waste your time with your cyclonic modulator on these guys, okay, because they got pitiful health. If they get shot, they die, so just don't get shot. Do some more damage with a power amplifier. Okay, you've got some really great area of effect and crowd control with this character. You can kill a lot of enemies in a short amount of time. You'll be surprised. No, not again, sorry. Well, it is again. You're going to go for more power damage, but you're not going to go for tech power, okay? This is one of the few engineers in the game that doesn't actually have any tech abilities, okay? Both Proxy Mine and Recon Mine are combat powers, okay? So if you really want to amp them up, you want to go with something like the Mental Focuser, okay? That's just going to give you a 12% power damage. It's universal, okay? That's what's going to get them amped up. And then for your weapon bonus, obviously go with the Pistol Rail Amp. And that's your Volus done. Now the next one is oh no, it's the Saboteur. I'm getting ahead of myself. The Saboteur I do play, although I was disappointed in, so forgive me for getting him. It was disappointing because homing grenades, again, they're another tech power that isn't actually a real tech power, okay? They're a combat power as far as the game's concerned. So it really doesn't benefit from Sabotage's ability to increase the damage done by tech powers, okay? I'm not going to go through the whole I hate sentry turret thing again. I'm not putting any points into it. Although, ironically, that thing would actually get stronger from Sabotage, as would his heavy melee, okay? He's got like this electrical omni-blade, if I remember correctly, which will actually do more damage after you've sabotaged an enemy, but never mind, okay? Never mind. What's going to be great about this guy is like he might not be able to do a lot of damage with his powers now because they don't gel the way they should have. He can still do a lot of damage just through his tech explosions, okay? Because with that tech vulnerability evolution at the end of Sabotage, you will increase the damage of your tech explosions, okay? Now, this is how you want to spec Sabotage on him. You always want Backfire, okay? This is fundamental. Backfire is going to stagger the enemy a second time, okay? So you're going to really got some nice crowd control that the enemy will stagger on the initial strike of Sabotage, and they'll stagger again with the Backfire evolution. Because with what Backfire does, 1.5 seconds after you've hit them initially with Sabotage, okay, they get Backfire kicks in, okay? They take a bit of damage. It's a nice bit of damage too, but then they also get set up for a tech burst, okay? This sort of electrifies them, and then basically that's when you can send in your detonating power and do a really nice hard-hitting tech burst, okay? Go with the recharge speed so that you can get Sabotage flying out on every enemy you see, and obviously, as I've been sort of licking about, I don't know where I was going with that, what I've been going on about for ages now, is the tech vulnerability. You absolutely want that. It's going to increase all tech power damage done by 50% for 10 seconds on that enemy. So like I said, you hit them with sabotage, it's going to prime them for a tech burst and make that tech burst more powerful, and homing grenades is going to be the bad boy that detonates that for you. Okay, just send in the homing grenade, go with damage, fire damage and armor damage, okay, because obviously that's going to hit hard and it's going to weaken the enemies, it's going to weaken armor, so armor's mitigation against weapon damage, because like I said, his power strikes aren't going to do a lot of damage, his tech combos are going to do a lot of damage, so really if you want to kill enemies you're going to have to be gunning with this guy as well, so it's really good to have that armor damage evolution. So for that same reason, for his passives, you want damage and stability, power damage and damage and stability, so you've got those weapon bonuses. And if you take all fitness, okay, go with durability, shield recharge and fitness expert, you've got yourself 1,238 shields. So you've got some really nice shields on this guy, which is something you can credit him for, which is actually going to work out quite nicely. Okay, now with the way. With the attack plan I've just given you, okay guys, if you slap on an SMG like the Hurricane, okay guys, you can do a lot of damage to armor with this thing. If you slap on the high velocity barrel, you can do increased damage with your homing grenades as well if you stick on the power magnifier. But essentially because there's a lot of spread and kick with these SMG guns, okay, they're much better at close range, which is also the better range for your homing grenade. Okay, so this is all starting to gel now. Okay, you just sort of getting close to the enemies, sabotage them, you stagger them twice, okay, so there's no return fire. Then you shoot a homing grenade, it's not going to strafe too far from the enemy, it's going to bomb right in the face, you get a nice powerful tech burst, and obviously the whole time you can just drill them with your SMG and do some really nice weapon damage, and that's how you're going to get kills with this character. Okay guys, it's weapon damage and tech combos. Now, to make sure that that's on the mix, get yourself a nice elemental ammo, okay, because even then you can detonate different tech explosions. It doesn't just have to be the tech burst as sabotage comes up, it can be the tech burst from disruptor rounds, okay. I do like to go with disruptor rounds normally because that's an additional stun on the enemy, okay, so even less return fire, because he's got nice shields, but you really just don't, you just want to sort of, you are going to get, if you want to do some real nice quick damage with this guy, you want to be right in the enemy's face, okay, so it's nice that they're not shooting at you at all, okay guys, but you know, incendiary rounds would be good too, because then you can get fire explosions in the mix as well, because like I said, he's got good shields and we're just going to be locking up the enemies with that little attack plan there. You don't really need to worry about a cyclonic modulator. Get your power amplifier on there so you're doing some good damage. Finally get some damage buffs in there for your powers, because they should have been a lot stronger to start with. They really should have. It's so disappointing that homing grenades is a combat power, not a tech power. But as you can see, homing grenades is going to be very important in actually getting those tech combos going on that does most of our damage. You're going to need grenades, so stick on a grenade capacity for your gear bonus, and then obviously you want an SMG rail amp for your weapon then. Now, this is the character I thought we were going to jump onto. It's the Vorcha Hunter. It's another character I don't actually play, but I'm going to give you a build for him now, okay guys? The reason I don't play him is because he's one of these, really, and he's a Turian Sentinel. Okay, first a look, we're going to take a look at my Vorcha Sentinel so I can talk to you about everything else he's got going on, really. See, for Bloodlust, you want to be going for health regeneration, power damage and health regeneration, okay? So every time you're killing, your health regenerates faster and your power damage gets stronger, okay, guys? You buff that up with the Vorcha Resilience and go with damage and capacity and power damage, and you are going to be doing some really nice damage with your powers of this character. And obviously, at the same time, because you're going to be doing a lot of damage with this character, you're going to be doing a lot of killing with this character, which means your health's going to be regenerating nice and quick, so you only need to worry about having about 3 ranks into your fitness there, okay? If your health ever falls low, just slip out of the line of sight of the enemy, your health's going to regenerate back in a flash then, okay guys? Now, let's look at the Turian Sentinel that I've accused this guy of being, because we're going to look at Submission Net. Submission Net is going to be your initial attack, okay? Bloodlust goes on and you never take it off. There's really no reason to ever take off your Bloodlust. And then what you're going to hit every enemy you see with is a Submission Net. This is basically like a tech stasis, okay, guys? If you go with the damage and slow, and electric field. Electric field's the most important aspect, but the 2 first evolutions is going to allow you to do a lot of dot with this power. But the electric fields is what are going to set up tech bursts, okay, guys? And it's not only going to set up the enemy you capture with tech bursts, it's actually going to shock nearby enemies for some additional additional crowd control, okay, guys. You're going to stun and stagger all of them and set them up for tech bursts too, okay, guys. That's really good. And then basically this is when you fly out with Incinerate afterwards, okay, guys. I'm going to jump over to, we'll just go back to my human engineer here. See now with the human engineer, you just spec Incinerate for damage, burning damage, and armor damage. Okay, I say with the human engineer, we're still talking about the Vorcha Hunter here, guys. And you just fly them out. Okay, where you literally even the armor targets, because it will slow down armor. It won't stop them, but it will slow them down, and it will prime them for a tech burst. Okay, guys, you just basically submissive and Incinerate, juggle that combo over and over again, and you just do a lot of damage that way. Okay, you're doing dot with both the the net and the Incinerate's burning damage. Okay, guys, and then you're getting off a tech combo as well, okay, for some really nice damage. For the weapon on this guy, yeah, I'm gonna surprise a lot of you because I know I've done nothing but hate on it, okay, guys. But let me just get rid of the cerberus harrier to make my point here. Slap on something like the Executioner pistol. Yeah, alright, go with the Executioner pistol for two reasons, okay, guys. It's got innate piercing, okay, so you don't have to worry about a piercing mod, so you can just go ahead and treat yourself to a heavy barrel to do some extra damage, and then you can go ahead and slap on a power magnifier, okay, so you can really increase that dot and the initial strikes and all that kind of good stuff. But what's great, because the problem I've had with the Executioner pistol is it fires blanks, okay. Basically, you're going to be able to get around a lot of the issues of the Executioner pistol just because you're using submission net, okay. The enemy are going to be locked in a position, okay, and they're going to be stunned, okay, so you can just take a nice, clean, clear shot that's going to have, that you should be able to land, okay. You should be able to land it more reliably than normal, okay, and if it does, when you do land hits with the Executioner pistol, you kill enemies, alright, guys. And on that note, okay, guys, for your ammo bonus, go with the phasic rounds, okay, guys, so that you can just get around shield gate with the Executioner pistol, okay, guys, because it's a one-shot weapon. You don't want to leave yourself too vulnerable, okay, you just want to be wrecking them up with some nice phasic rounds. For your armor bonus, okay, like I said, you got some great survivability through Bloodlust, so just get the power amped up with a power amplifier. And for your gear bonus, just go with an engineering kit, to be honest, guys. Yeah, stick on an engineering kit, so even more power damage again. And then finally, obviously, you just want a pistol rail amp, and that's how you're going to play with your Vorcha Hunter there. Now, lastly, we have the Talon Mercenary. This is one hell of a bad boy now. Rocky start, but he's powerful as hell now, okay guys. The cane trip mines I'll get into last, actually. The main bread and butter is actually going to be your armor-piercing arrows, okay guys. Spec these for damage, armor damage, and arrow count, okay, and you will do a crap ton of damage with these things, okay guys. You just put these on all the time and just heavy melee all the things, and all the things will drop, okay. You can take, I put 3 ranks into concussive arrows as well, okay guys. So these are really good when you're dealing with the big bosses with their shields, okay, and their barriers. If you not their shields, sorry, it's the barriers, because the concussive arrows do a lot of damage to barriers, so you can really take down Praetorians and Bwncis barriers really quickly with the concussive arrows, so that you can just switch to your armor piercing again and then wreck them up. But also it's really great for the Phantom, okay guys. If you just keep pressuring her, if you just keep firing concussive arrows at her, she's going to drop the ball eventually, and as soon as you hit her once with the concussive arrows, she goes flying, she loses a footing, and then you can wreck her, okay guys. So that's what's great about the concussive arrows. And then finally, you've got the cane trip mines, okay. These things are rockets in your pocket, okay guys. I expect these for radius, armor damage, and damage, okay guys. And basically, when you got yourself a large group of enemies, you just spam the shit out of your cane trip mines. I literally mean it, because basically as soon as the 4th one comes out, okay, it detonates the 1st one, and the 5th one detonates the 2nd one, and the 6th one detonates the 3rd one, and basically you're forcing the cane trip mines to blow up on the enemies if you just start slapping it around their feet and stuff, and it does decimate them, okay, because the cane trip mines do so much damage. If you just get them popping all around groups, you will. It's like you've rocketed the enemy, okay guys. They are that powerful. Check out the video guide if you don't believe that, okay guys. The reason you're going to be doing that damage though, okay guys, is because you want to spec for power damage and power damage in his passives, and for his omni-bow mastery. The reason that your armor piercing arrows and stuff are going to be wrecking up the place is because you want all melee damage, okay guys. Go with omni-bow damage, killing spree, and omni-bow damage, okay guys. That's going to ramp up all your melees, because that's what those two arrows are, okay. They're melee attacks, and you know, you just slap them on, you melee melee and enemies get deaded so quick. This does make him squishy, but I can't stress enough just how powerful he is. Okay, guys, he is a guy who kills or gets killed. Okay, guys, but he can kill really quick and efficiently. The Wraith I stick on him because it gels really well for two reasons. You can stick on the Omni Blade, okay, for the really good melee damage bonus, and you put on the high velocity barrel so you can get around piercing and all that kind of good stuff, and just good damage. But what's great about the Wraith is it's got two really reliable shots, and it's nice and lightweight. Okay, so your arrows, because his charges, which are basically his grenades, okay, his grenade ammo, they recharge. Okay, so if you've got a nice light weapon, they'll recharge faster. Oh, okay, my laptop's running out of battery. You might hear some buzzing when I plug this in. I do apologise for those using earphones. This is how long it takes me to talk about all my builds, guys. But no, so you've got with the Wraith, okay, guys, you've got two really nice reliable shots, and essentially you can just throw that in the mix with your melee attacks, okay, guys. So you just you literally shoot out your armor piercing arrows, you shoot with the Wraith. You shoot out another armor piercing arrows, you shoot with the Wraith. And if you shoot with the armor piercing arrows again, the Wraith reloads automatically. If you do a power, the moment you empty the Wraith's clip, it will just reload again for you. So then literally you've just got this attack pattern that is never ending, and you will wreck up the enemies with it. It's a really nice, lightweight, reliable, hard-hitting weapon. Gotta love the Wraith for that. Okay, so let's look at the equipment and finish up here. Your armor bonus, I do recommend warp rounds, okay guys. Warp rounds is going to weaken armor, so literally you've got the armor piercing arrows, and like I said, you're mixing in your shots with the Wraith there, so you're going to be weakening armor and doing some nice damage to barriers as well. It's just basically a harder hitting attack that's really just going to gel quite nicely with what you're doing with your powers there. For your armor bonus, go with the power amplifier. Yeah, guys, literally, because you will do so much damage, okay, guys, you do just wreck up stuff so quickly, and that's how you survive, okay, guys, because you kill the enemy before they got a chance to kill you. Everything he does is grenades. So you absolutely want the grenade capacity on this one, okay, guys. 5 extra grenades, because literally even his cane trip mines and his arrows all use charges, and his charges are grenades, okay, guys. So make sure you've got plenty of them. And obviously, then no, it's not obvious. I was about to say use the shotgun railgun, but no. He's all about melee, okay, guys. So the arrows are a melee attack at the strength enhancer 3 on him, okay. And that's all my engineers, okay, guys. I will be back shortly with my sentinels, okay, guys. Hope this was helpful for you. Take care of yourselves now. Bye bye.